Coming up at 5, there's good news out of the Vatican this weekend, plus a new bill out of Iowa aimed to help people struggling with mental health. But first, Governor Tim Walz making his way to the Med City today, drawing more than 1,000 people. We hear what he has to say on a large range of topics, including the current state of the Democratic Party. Your news starts now.
Live from your trusted news leader, this is KTTC Weekend News.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Zempel. First at 5, Governor Tim Walz making a stop in Rochester today. This is on the heels of his tour of Iowa and Wisconsin, mostly in Republican-held districts, to talk about national affairs, the Trump administration, and the current state of the Democratic Party. We're told 1,500 people showed up for the event today, and they had to open up an overflow room for more people. I was there this morning as people lined up to get in. People starting lining up before 8 this morning at John Marshall High School in Rochester. The line was going all the way around the building. Doors opened up at 9, people going through security first. One Rochester resident told me why she decided to come out today.
Coming out to listen to what Governor Walz has to say about our current kind of local situation and larger federal situation, and show my support for the good work that I see that he has been doing in the state and his leadership, and really trying to support policies that I really stand behind: climate change, school access, various, equity. I really see him as a strong leader for our state.
Walz called out the Trump administration on the dismantling of the Department of Education and says Minnesota, along with other states, will continue to fight it in court. Walz also says the Democratic Party does need to refocus, but he doesn't have all the answers right now. He says he does have faith in Minnesota voters, though. Walz also received several loud rounds of applause and standing ovations, especially when calling out Elon Musk, and he says he thinks his days in the White House are numbered.
Donald Trump's loyalty to those around him lasts as long as they're useful to him. The minute they're no longer useful, gone. So I think the pressure is on this, because you're seeing it. People who voted for Donald Trump, they're even saying, some of them, not enough, some of them are even saying, well, I didn't vote for Elon Musk. And I think we have to be more forceful. We have to be more forceful about what we're going to do.
And Republican Congressman Brad Finstad, who represents Minnesota's 1st congressional district, says if done right, the governor's Rochester town hall had some value.
My comment to him would be, well, I hope he comes to Rochester to tell us how we got our state in $6 billion deficit in the future. I would hope he would come to Rochester to tell us what his plan was to get us out of that budget mess that we are in. I would hope he would come and tell people of Rochester why he increased taxes by $10 billion and spent $18 billion of our surplus money.
And as for Finstad, he does tell KTTC he does not have an in-person town hall on the calendar, but he does say he plans to hold a telephone town hall event in the near future. Well, journalists, federal workers, and their unions filed a lawsuit challenging the recent move from the Trump administration. It comes after President Trump signed an order gutting the parent agency of U.S.-backed media outlet Voice of America and 6 other small federal agencies. More than 1,300 Voice of America employees were placed on leave last Saturday. Now, journalists, federal workers, and their unions are suing the U.S. Agency for Global Media, its acting director Victor Morales, and special advisor Carrie Lake to challenge what it calls unlawful shuttering of the agency and silencing of global media. The plaintiffs see the decision as an assault of VOA, as well as an attack on international democracy and journalistic integrity. They are seeking immediate relief to reverse the Trump administration's actions. Well, we're going to get a quick check on weather. Weather forecaster Derek Overland joins us now. Hi, Derek.
Hey, Megan. So we have some showers that will be moving in later on. For now, we're dealing with some really nice conditions, lots of sunshine throughout the area, but we will pick up some wind gusts, and then eventually we'll have the chance for a little bit of rain and possibly for a few of us, a few flurries, especially towards the Mississippi River Valley region. But just looking at these two issues for our first alerts here, and just looking at some really minor impacts here throughout the area. So precipitation chances, rain and snow possible tonight into Sunday. It'll mostly, for the majority of us, be rain. There may be a few flurries Sunday afternoon towards the Mississippi River Valley. And then looking even farther ahead, mild temperatures in the 40s and 50s throughout the rest of the week, and also a quieter pattern for next week. We're looking at maybe a few rain chances towards the late week, but, well, for the most part, looking really nice. Loosen out a live camera here in Rochester showing sunny skies. It says rain at the Rochester Sensor, a little error there. We're seeing sunny skies throughout the area. That will change, though. We will see some cloud cover and then eventually some showers later on tonight into tomorrow. Temperatures sitting in the 40s, low 40s throughout the area with the south wind anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour, almost close to 20 miles per hour in Mankato. Future track radar showing the clouds starting to increase here as we go into the evening hours. That's going to continue to move east and give us some overcast skies, and then again eventually a chance for a few showers later on tonight. So here's surface map. You can see our system that'll be moving in. This warm front will eventually move through and give us some warmer temperatures late tonight, maybe a few showers, and then as we go into the afternoon for Sunday, we're going to have a cold front move through, and that's going to cool our temperatures and then give us another chance for maybe a few showers. And if we do drop those temperatures low enough, we may be able to see a few flurries. It won't be a lot whatsoever. So hour by hour forecast, we'll have that increasing cloud cover throughout the area. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, and then eventually as that warm front moves through around that 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock hour, we'll have the chance for a few showers, and then our temperatures start to warm up already overnight, back into the 30s and 40s for the early morning hours, and then we're going to dip right back down into those 30s for the majority of the day for our Sunday, with a chance for a few more showers. And I'll have more details on that in my full forecast in just a little bit.
All right, well, stay tuned for that, Derek. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, a bill working its way through the Iowa legislature aims to break the cycle of repeated hospitalizations and homelessness for people with mental illness or substance use disorders. One mental health advocate says it will save lives. Connor Hendricks looks at what these changes mean.
Leslie Carpenter with Iowa Mental Health Advocacy says that far too often people who struggle with mental illness are released from the hospital without any supports. The practice, she says, is called streeting.
I know of one case where the parents were guardians for their daughter, and she was discharged from the hospital. They were never notified, so they were not there able to help provide support. And who they received a notification from was actually the police. They came to notify them that she had died by suicide.
A bill working its way through the Iowa legislature seeks to change this. When hospitals go to discharge a patient who is involuntarily committed, House File 385 requires that they provide a 15-day supply of medication for that patient. The bill also requires hospitals to provide the patients with paperwork that includes dates and times for follow-up appointments and how to stick with treatment. It also requires hospitals to notify the court and family members that their loved one is set to be released.
It requires an accountability and a responsibility to discharge the person with reasonable communication and care coordination to stop and limit the possibility of that person going back off their medications and out of treatment and deteriorating over and over again.
Thursday, the bill passed out of the Iowa House unanimously.
This bill will help us to pause the revolving door of repeated hospitalizations, to lessen homelessness, incarceration, and victimization of people with severe mental illnesses here in Iowa.
And hopefully this is going to save some lives and aid in the families as they look for other resources in the communities.
Carpenter likens the bill to putting a foot in the revolving door of hospitalizations and homelessness for people who struggle with severe mental illnesses. She now hopes that the Iowa Senate and Governor Kim Reynolds agree. At the Iowa State Capitol, I'm Connor Hendricks reporting.
Officials in Mower County are closely monitoring the potential for new cases of avian flu after the discovery of 2 geese that may have had the contagious disease. An Austin resident shared a photo of the 2 deceased birds near the shoreline of the Cedar River Mill Pond in Austin. The photo was sent to the Cedar River Watershed District, who then alerted Mower County officials. Both the county and the city of Austin plan to post a health alert signs this spring. The signs will advise against touching dead birds and give contact information for reporting possible cases. Mower County Health and Human Services have been monitoring bird flu since mid-summer last year. Well, depending where you live, you may want to check your refrigerator if you recently purchased cheese from Aldi. The grocery store chain has recalled nearly 5,000 bags of shredded cheese due to possible metal contamination. The recall involves the Happy Farms shredded Colby Jack cheese. The affected products were sold in 4 states. That's Michigan, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. The expiration dates are either July 13th or July 14th of this year. Consumers who have the cheese should throw them out. Looking around the world now, Pope Francis is going home. Doctors announced today that the 88-year-old pontiff is set to be discharged from Rome's Gemelli Hospital tomorrow. He has been in the hospital for 38 days, where he was being treated for double pneumonia. Doctors say he will continue to recover at Casa Santa Marta, which is his residence at the Vatican. However, doctors also say Pope Francis will need to convalescence for 2 months. He will also need to continue the same kind of treatment he received at the hospital. Earlier in the day, the Vatican announced the pontiff planned on greeting the crowds in some form from the hospital tomorrow. He is still expected to do that before he is discharged. Well, is buying a house this year in your cards? If so, do you know if now is the right time? We hear from a real estate expert next.
Missed part of our
Welcome back. 15% of Americans plan to buy a home in 2025, according to a new NerdWallet study. In this Watching Your Wallet, consumer reporter Rachel DePompa talks to a real estate expert about the state of the housing market nationwide.
35% of people who don't own a home tell NerdWallet the cost of living is stopping them from buying a house. Holden Lewis, a real estate expert with the company, says this is the least affordable housing market for buyers he's seen in the last 20 years.
It's really bad. Home buyers complain about, first of all, prices, and also the lack of availability of homes for sale. And, those two things are related. And then also high mortgage rates.
The study found prospective buyers hope to spend about $259,000 on a home, but the actual median sales price right now is around $420,000. He says there are a few markets around the country, like in Texas and Florida, where prices have actually fallen in the last few months. But in most places, prices remain high and mortgage rates sit on average around 7%. Lewis says if you're looking to buy this spring, take your time.
One of the good pieces of luck is that because it's taking longer for people to buy homes because of the affordability issues, more and more homes are stacking up on the market. The inventory of for sale homes is rising, and that means as a buyer, you have more to choose from than you did, say, a year or two ago.
Lewis says the greater supply of houses is keeping prices from skyrocketing like they did 3 or 4 years ago. He says find a good local real estate agent, interview several, find the right one that aligns with your goals and really knows your local housing market. You're going to be working with that person for several months, if not a year. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
Here's your first alert weather with forecaster Derek Overland.
Well, we had another day where we saw some 40s out there. We're getting gradually warmer as we go throughout the next couple of days. High temperatures today were in the 40s, 41 degrees in Rochester, 44 in Mankato, right around that seasonal average of 43 degrees, as we had everybody in the 40s here throughout the area. Loose Not Alive camera here in Rochester showing us some increasing cloud cover. Now, the sensor does say some rainfall. We're not seeing rain just yet. We will later on tonight. Just some increasing cloud cover, but plenty of sunshine still getting through those clouds. Temperatures in the 40s still, but that south wind's around 5 to even close to 20 miles per hour in the Mankato area, 15 mile per hour wind speeds in the Rochester area. Future track radar showing cloudy skies beginning to move in from the west. That'll continue to move east and give us some mostly cloudy to completely overcast skies eventually as we go into the evening hours. You can see just off to our west, our next weather maker moving in. This will give us a chance for a few light showers throughout the night tonight and into tomorrow. Some on and off showers as this frontal boundary moves through. Now, as that warm front eventually moves through, it will warm our temperatures up later on tonight. We'll hit that 40-degree mark, but then right behind this low, we have a cold front, and that eventually will cool our temperatures while giving us another chance for a few showers later on for our Sunday. Now, here's what to expect. Some weather headlines tonight. We'll see that increasing cloud cover with also some late showers. Then for tomorrow, we'll have on and off showers throughout the day. And then for next week, we're looking at warmer with a chance for a few showers late in the week. Wind speeds will also be high as we have these showers move through. You can see when the frontal boundaries move through. Here's our warm front. Our wind speeds increase to around 35 miles per hour. And then our cold front moves through towards the afternoon, and we can see our wind speeds increase again around 35 mile per hour wind gusts there for our afternoon hours. So we will be windy for the next 24 hours as these frontal boundaries move through. So now let's track out this system on Future Track. As we go into tonight, we can see a line of a few showers. Now we will be fighting a little bit of dry air towards the late tonight showers. So not a lot of this will make it to the ground, but eventually towards around the late night hours, around 1 o'clock in the morning, we start to see some even moderate rainfall possible for some of us towards the late night hours. And then that's when that cold front moves through, or warm front moves through, excuse me, and we see those wind gusts get up to around 36 miles per hour, possibly around that 40 mile per hour mark at times. And then for our Sunday morning, another chance for a few line of showers, so it'll just be on and off showers. And then as we go into our Sunday afternoon, that's when we get this chance for maybe a little bit, just a few flurries towards the Mississippi River Valley area, where we could see very light flurries for those east of Highway 52. So rainfall totals here, this is for the next 24 hours. Not a lot. This is going to be our main precipitation type here for our Sunday, and we're looking at less than 1/10 of an inch throughout the entire viewing area. There's a few places like Decorah, La Crosse, maybe Winona getting close to that 1/10 of an inch mark for that rainfall. And again, towards the Mississippi River Valley, maybe a few flurries, but not looking like a lot whatsoever. Precipitation forecast throughout the next 7 days. Again, we'll have that stray chance on and off showers and stray for our Sunday. And then Tuesday, we'll have a chance for some minor mixing on Tuesday in the morning hours, so a little bit of a rain-snow mixture on Tuesday morning, not lasting very long for that day. And then for Friday and Saturday, the late week, we're looking at a few more stray shower chance up ahead, and we'll continue to watch that as we go into the late week next week. Temperature trend for the next 6 days will gradually start to get warmer. Tomorrow will be 44 degrees again. That's going to be towards the morning hours as we have that cold front move through. The 40s won't last very long, so we'll still feel cold for our Sunday, but then towards the rest of the next week, we're looking really warm. 50s and even the 60s possibly return as we head towards our Friday. Tonight's forecast, temperatures in the 30s with the chance for a few showers later on tonight. Then for tomorrow, again, we'll have the chance for on and off showers, possibly a few flurries for a very few of us, and temperatures getting into the 40s but not lasting very long. We'll be in the 30s and 20s for the majority of the day for our Sunday. 7-day forecast for Mankato, we'll have those 40s and 50s with a chance for a few showers on Sunday with those partly cloudy conditions throughout the rest of the week with warmer temperatures throughout the rest of the week. 7-day forecast in Rochester, a few stray showers for us on Sunday, and then we'll have some quiet conditions throughout the rest of the week with sunny skies and warmer temperatures with a chance for a few stray showers on Friday and Saturday. Megan?
Thank you, Derek. Well, we all know how important sleep is to our health, but what about when it comes to our children? We check out what you need to know next.
KTTC weather, sponsored by Warner.
It's a vital part of mental and physical health. Sleep is important for everyone, and especially children and teens, as it plays a role in growth and development. Many children experience sleep problems, and if left untreated, there can be lasting effects. Mandy Gaither talks to a pediatrician about when to worry about a child's sleep habits.
During sleep, the body is at work, supporting healthy brain function and keeping up physical health. But getting those Z's doesn't always come easy. Around 35% of parents reported to the CDC that their child sleeps less than what's recommended for their age.
Sleep disturbances are really common in kids.
Dr. Scott Hadlin with Mass General for Children says sleep sets the stage for the kind of day a child will have, affecting school performance and how they engage with others. Those who don't get enough sleep are at increased risk for injuries, obesity, type 2 diabetes, poor mental health, attention and behavior problems, and poor cognitive development.
The key here is to understand when there's an issue.
Hadlin says there are 3 reasons parents should seek care for a child's sleep habits. First, if sleep disturbances are persistent, happening multiple times a week for a long period of time. Second, if the sleep issues are leading to daytime problems. Finally, if you suspect a medical problem, for example, heavy snoring or gasping, could be a sign of obstructive sleep apnea.
I think the other thing I would say is that if a child does wake up in the middle of the night with some kind of sleep disturbance, it's really important for parents to respond calmly, because that will help their child fall back asleep more quickly.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
We'll be right back.
When our numbers guy Frank goes on vacation,
The blobfish makes a major comeback.
The gelatinous sea creature, considered 2013's ugliest animal in the world, was just named Fish of the Year in New Zealand. More than 5,500 votes were cast in a survey. The blobfish came out on top with about 300 more tallies than the second place orange roughy. The annual contest raises awareness about the various fish that live in New Zealand's waters. You know, I have made fun of the blobfish in the past, Derek, but you know, I am so sorry, blobfish. Congratulations to you. There you have it.
It's got my vote.
Yes, mine too. So there you have it. Well, thanks for joining us. See you at 6.